with the structure of the Indian superstate, and what is the solution of the oppression and atrocities which the people in Kashmir and people in Punjab are facing?
Well, the constitution of the Indian superstate says that Sikhs are Hindus. Well, this is ridiculous. Of course, Sikhs are not Hindus. And the constitution imposes the caste system, but the caste system is a form of slavery. So what we have to do is actually end the Indian superstate. That is what is needed. And the struggle for independence by the Punjab and the Kashmir could do that. And if it does, I think that would be a tremendous step forward for freedom and justice around the world, because there's loads of other areas and peoples who are oppressed by superstates. And if this can happen here, it would help the struggle in Palestine, for example, and the beginning of the end of the New World tyranny being imposed around the world.
And Piers, you know, you supported the agitation, the farmers' agitation.
Absolutely.
And your support and the support from all the Western countries had led to a situation where the Indian government had to go back and go on its knees, apologize and take back those laws. So what does that show to the wider world about resistance and protest? And what would you like to say that support for protest for the people, the agitation in Punjab, how much effect international solidarity has?
Well, I think it has tremendous effect. I mean, first of all, the main force that got this victory in India was indeed the action by the farmers. But different states around the world don't hear that unless we take action in other countries. So it's absolutely crucial to have physical solidarity on the streets all over the world, especially in the Western countries which are in the lead in imposing New World tyranny. So I would urge everyone who thinks nothing to do with us, no, it is totally to do with us. Because if they win, that's a hit back against the New World tyranny, and we have to defeat the New World tyranny here and everywhere in the world.
Okay. And just lastly, we've seen the situation in Kashmir. They've been under draconian lockdown. Now it's reaching 3 years now. We have a quarter of a million armed personnel in that state, and they have been oppressed every single day. And the international solidarity, all former politics has been really lacking. Even the left-wing politicians have walked away. Even parties like the Labour Party has walked away from showing solidarity to the places like Punjab and Kashmir. And we have a situation in Kashmir where Kashmir is under complete military rule for 3 years. People are not even allowed to. We've been protesting against the lockdown, but what they have is even a harder version of lockdown, where they're not even allowed to come outside their house, and the military is affecting their life daily. And what would you like to say for the people of Kashmir?
First of all, that if the Indian government is honest about what it's saying about the farmers, then it ought to extend this to all sections of India. It's got to give freedoms to all the people of India, or every group who wants it. And I said the key problem is the caste system and the imposition of this in the constitution. So the Indian superstate, in my opinion, has to be destroyed, and all these actions can do it. And as Gutram pointed out, it is a complete disgrace how the so-called left organisations around the world, or progressive organisations, are ignoring this because they go along with the COVID story to impose tyranny in the world. And of course the Indian superstate is a key part. So they'll step back and will not fight for the freedoms they claim they're doing. Whereas we, me and others, Gutram, our organisation, Let the UK Live, we are fighting all the time for real freedom for all groups around the world.
Thank you. Jill, I'd like to have Jill, so we have another human rights activist with us, Jill Everett. And Jill Everett, what would you like to say about the situation, especially regarding today? So we have a situation where India has institutionalized slavery in the form of the caste system in their constitution. They have institutionalized slavery throughout. So we have a situation where your politics, so you get a reserved seat based on the level of slavery. So what would you like to say about a constitution and a political system which not only justifies slavery but institutionalizes it?
And celebrates it on this day, celebrating the slavery, celebrating the conformity that the people have just accepted this. This should not be normalized. This should not be celebrated. It's an absolute outrage that in this day and age that this is still allowed. How can this not be called out on the world stage for the human rights violations that are so clear? It seems to me that the Indian state under Modi is keeping a lot of this quiet and pushing a lot of other things in the forefront. It's a big country, there's a lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of people do business with India, but somehow they manage to keep the dark side of the politics there very quiet. That much about the plight of the Sikhs and the Kashmiris existing under the Indian rule. Nobody really knows about them existing under the Indian rule in this way as slaves. This is terrible. You only have half rights. You function there as second-class citizens. Over the years, your people have been slaughtered by the Indian armies. How can we celebrate this? And how is it that nobody has called for the Constitution to be changed yet?
And another thing, what would you like to say the situation regarding, progressive politicians, all the people who claim to support human rights, for example, parties like the Labour Party and all these, left-leaning political groups who, their entire setup the claim is about human rights and progressive politics. Where are they? Why are they?
That's right. We have to call these people out, and we have to say Modi is not welcome here to come and do business here. He's not welcome on visits here until they change their constitution. If other countries are blocked and sanctioned, so we should be sanctioning India until they change the constitution. It's one country for all.
Absolutely.
And this should be proposed in Parliament. This should be talked about in Parliament. We need to find an MP that will bring this up.
Yeah, thank you. And I'd like to thank both of you for being here and showing solidarity. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ that ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਝੂਠ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਲੁਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਜਾਣ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਉਹ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਰਿਪਬਲਿਕ ਡੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਟਿੰਗ ਇਟਸ ਰਿਪਬਲਿਕ ਡੇ locked inside Delhi. They have sealed Delhi. Borders of Delhi has been sealed by the military and the police just to celebrate an illusion of so-called democracy and so-called India. That delusion is over, and we like to call upon the people of the world that time is now that this illusion of the Indian Union is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰੀ ਮਾਤਰਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਲਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਆ ਕਿ